Call to order the city council meeting for April 23rd. Time is 7 p.m. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Armstrong,
Here.
Councilmember Rubio,
Here.
Councilmember Veros,
Here.
Vice Mayor Perkins,
Here.
Mayor Hudson.
Here. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, what's the first item?
Item 3, announcements. 3.1, changes and additions to the agenda. We have none this evening. Item 3.2, if you'd like to speak under public comment or regarding an agenda item, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room and bring it to the front, please. Item 4, public comment.
Okay, public comment is open. Now's the time for the public to address the city council on any item not on the agenda tonight or items that are on the consent calendar, including request to pull an item from the consent calendar and the reason why you wish to pull the item. The decision to pull it or not is at the discretion of the city council. Do we have any cards?
I don't have any speaker cards. There was someone, let's see here. I do not have any speaker cards for this item.
Okay, well, we'll ask one more time. Is there anybody that wishes to speak to the council under public comment? Do we have any written copies or comments?
No.
Okay, close the public comment. Next item, please.
Item 5, consent calendar.
Okay, consent calendar items generally routine in nature and acted upon with a single action. Is there anybody on the council wishing to pull an item? Oh, just quick, huh?
I'm pointing at Deb, so I was gonna make her come up and answer questions, but I'm not.
Okay, it looks unanimous to me. Next item, please.
Item 6, special presentation. 6.1, proclamation declaring April 2024 as National Volunteer Month in recognition of Forest Home Farm tractor volunteers who received the CPRS District 3 Outstanding Volunteer in Parks and Recreation Award. Introduction by Steve Cox, Recreation Supervisor.
Okay, and Vice Mayor will be presenting the proclamation to, you get 15 minutes to speak, Dan.
That's what I heard. So I heard I had to jump up here really quickly. My name is Steve Cox. I'm a supervisor over the City Lights Volunteer Program, and that is the volunteer program that the City of San Ramon offers to anyone in the community. It's a truly wonderful program, and we're so excited always to come up here and have a chance to recognize some of the wonderful volunteers who work in our community. I did just want to quickly highlight in 2023, for example, we had over 1,800 different volunteers participate in over 100 different events and accumulated over 8,000 hours of volunteer service in the last year. And I think it just goes a long way to show how strong volunteering is in the San Ramon community and all the wonderful people who do come out to the community to volunteer. This coming Monday, April 29th, we are going to be recognizing some of our senior center volunteers, and I believe there's an invitation there for all the council members, and that'll be at 1:30 at the Alcosta Senior Community Center. So you are welcome to attend as we recognize some of those volunteers. And then really, Dan here is from our Forest Home Farm tractor volunteers, and he is representing the group. And I did just want to point out, this year they were recognized by the California Parks and Recreation Services District 3 for the outstanding volunteers in a community. And that's the tractor volunteers at Forest Home Farms. Dan here will be receiving this along with the proclamation. And I believe Councilmember Perkins is going to read the proclamation.
Dan, thank you very much for coming out here tonight and for the work you do out there on the tractors. I got let's get some repair work done here. No, I'm not gonna do that. All right, a proclamation of the City Council of the City of San Ramon proclaiming April 2024 as National Volunteer Month. Whereas National Volunteer Month is about inspiring, recognizing, and encouraging people to seek out imaginative ways to engage in their communities. And whereas volunteers are motivated by the simple satisfaction of helping their fellow citizens and making their community a better place to live. And whereas City of San Ramon volunteers are families, workers, retirees, teens, children, and men and women of all ages and backgrounds. And whereas last year, City Lights volunteers provided services helping make San Ramon the best place to play, live, and work. And volunteers are vital to our future as a caring, productive city. And whereas the observance of National Volunteer Month sets aside time dedicated to others serving in need and honoring those who volunteer all year. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of San Ramon does hereby proclaim April 2024 as National Volunteer Month and urges all citizens to celebrate service through volunteering in San Ramon. Dated April 23rd, 2024, signed David E. Hudson, Mayor. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Very well.
Okay, that's all right. We can do this. Yeah. And thank you, Dan.
Yeah, do a couple of things like that, yeah. Okay,
We got. And. Gonna run out of film, Carol.
I know, I did it.
thank you very much. Thank you.
That's a great job out there, Dan. We had the opportunity to go by your tractor barn. Pretty special.
Yes. thank
Better
you.
than the Black Hawk Museum. You got some.
Well, I don't know about that, but it's certainly holds its own. I'd like to
Yes.
share just a couple things. I've been with the farm approximately 13 years. We have approximately 10 to 12, 13 volunteers that specialize with the tractors, their maintenance, their upkeep, and providing services at the special events at the farm, which include the sheep shearing day, Christmas, and other events. And we're always well received. We have a line to ride the tractors from the beginning to the end of the event. And it's always a special day for our community. And you'd be surprised how many times this is their first time to visit the farm. And they really enjoy what we have to offer because it's a lot to offer. And we do represent the city of San Ramon in other events that you may or may not be aware of. The Dublin St. Patrick's Day Parade, the Danville 4th of July Parade, City Lights, the Wind Festival, Truck Time. So we're out there promoting and representing the city of San Ramon, and what I'll say is one of the best kept secrets in San Ramon, because honestly, I've said it before, you know where Forest Home Farm is? And I get the biggest blank. And so it does need to be represented, talked about, and shared with all your family members and your friends, because it is a special place. So I encourage you all to come out, check out our fleet. Our job is to keep them operational as much as we can so that they don't break down on these, what I'll call tractor outings. So come on by, check them out. I'd be happy to show you around if I'm there, but come on out. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 7, deferred consent items. There are none this evening. Item 8, unfinished business. 8.1, public hearing. Resolution number 2024-051, accepting the final report on the cost of services user fee study and adopting the master fee schedule for various municipal services for fiscal year 2024, 2025. Staff report by Kelly Sessions, Administrative Services Director.
Good evening, council. It is good to be back, especially to be wrapping up, hopefully, this user fee study report. Oh, I go here. So a quick recap of how we got here, the process that we went through. As a reminder, this is the city's first comprehensive cost allocation plan and user fee study. We had done little pieces here and there before, but never a fully comprehensive study. The purpose of this was to evaluate time and cost assumptions that would guide us, direct us in how much cost recovery we could get, both direct and indirect, from providing city services to individual users of those services. State law allows us to recover the cost of those services, but per the government code, the rates may not exceed the estimated reasonable cost of providing the service for which the fee is charged. And so that's the whole purpose of this thing, is to make sure that our fees that we set are in line with the actual cost of providing that service. And then we're also legally defensible if someone ever had a complaint about what the fee is. And lastly, conducting regular user fee studies are considered best management practices by GFOA. So in terms of the timeline, we issued an RFP in July of 2023, and Matrix Consulting Group was selected as the vendor, the consultant, to complete that report. And we gave them the charge that they needed to get it done in time for budgeting purposes this fiscal year. We knew we were going to need it, and they have performed very, very well. The user fee study report and the master fee schedule were reviewed publicly. On March 26th, we had a special meeting, a workshop on the user fees. Later that night, that was a Tuesday, so that night we met again at 7 p.m. where we introduced the concept at the regular city council meeting. We took direction there from city council and then set the public hearing at that point. On April the 9th, we came back and heard another presentation by Matrix. We fine-tuned some of the fees that were set, and again took additional direction from city council. So here we are back on April 23rd for the final report being issued and an opportunity to hold a public hearing and take public testimony. The fiscal impact, the direction that we received from council was to move towards 100% cost recovery, given the budget situation that we are in. Currently, we are at a cost recovery level of 79%. Moving towards 100% cost recovery would put us, would bring about $1,500,000 in new revenue to the city. And that's including, I know we shaved a few fees here and there, but they were not significant amounts. So next steps for this would be to hold the public hearing in compliance with state law when we are raising fees. Adopt resolution 2024-051. That would include adopting the new master fee schedule, which would become effective on July 1st of this year, next 2024. So actually the first day of next fiscal year. And just a clarification, a reminder that once we do that, this also allows for annual adjustments of those fees based upon consumer price index or construction cost index. We would bring those increases back to council anyways, but this would authorize that to happen. And looking forward into next year, I think the report by Matrix recommends adoption of a formal cost recovery policy that will help guide our actions in the future. So we will be bringing that forward to you at a future date. And then we'll be good for the next 3 or 4 more years, 3, 4, 5 years. And then we'll be doing the cost allocation and user fee study report again and doing another RFP. So with that, that is the conclusion of my report. Are there any questions that I can answer?
Any questions of staff? And am I right? Anyone down here? No questions? Okay. Yeah, need a motion to open public hearing.
I move we open the public hearing.
I'll second that.
Oh, look at that. Look at
Oh,
that.
street
Oh,
fair.
he's-
They're quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Public hearing is open. Do we have any cards?
I do not have any requests and I did not receive any written comment for this item.
Well, that was quick.
I'll move, we close the public hearing. There,
This time.
Hey, somebody's got a second. Come on. There we are.
Okay, we put the matters before the council.
Well, I do want to make one comment, and I want to thank very much the city manager and the staff, and I know all the staffs had to participate in this, but it was city manager's insight into what happened in Livermore that brought this about, and it helped us to the tune of $1.5 million, which is about what we added back to the budget this evening. So it made a substantial difference in going forward. So I want to thank the city manager and all the staff that helped make this happen. I'm hopeful that the residents that are impacted by it appreciate the value added, but and can deal with the increased cost.
Yeah, I'll just add that, you know, having just sat through several hours worth of a budget workshop, it became very clear, you know, the situation we're currently facing. And I think this is very timely. And as Vice Mayor Perkins said, I think it's this moving forward with this will go a long way to helping us kind of get to a balanced budget at the beginning of this fiscal year.
Everybody in?
I'll
Yes.
Yeah, so thanks, staff. Definitely,
Yeah, you did quick.
one of the least thing that we want to do is increase the fees, right? Nobody want to do that, but then based on our current inflation as well as the requirements that we need to meet with our budgets, especially one of our key city council goal is to have financial stability. So in order to reach that goal, we need to do this, and hope this won't hurt too much with our community members for their future applications. Thanks for understanding, and thanks once again, staff, for helping with this.
Did you get Mark?
Yep.
Okay. Looks like it's pretty unanimous to me.
Very unanimous.
Okay, next item, please.
Item 8.2, Climate Action Plan Citizens Task Force Selection of Applicants to Interview. I'll be presenting the report. So this item is before you again for discussion and selection of the applicants to interview. As mentioned in the staff report, since the last meeting, it was brought to staff's attention that 2 of the candidates did not reside within the limits of the city of San Ramon, but in the unincorporated area of Contra Costa County. So those 2 candidates have been removed from the list because they did not meet the requirements of being a San Ramon resident. And just as a reminder, for this type of task force or committee, we do recommend about 15 to 20 minutes per applicant when you do select the amount of applicants that you're would like to interview. I did provide a rank sheet in front of you. It is the highest will be your top pick and down to the lowest per position. So just I'll turn it back to you for discussion.
I
Yes,
did
Vice
have
Mayor.
a point of the environmental climate nonprofit, Julie, don't know how to pronounce it, Fu, in her application does not mention any participation membership in any climate nonprofit. So I don't believe she's eligible for that seat. And so Sue Bach is eligible for that seat. And so I recommend that when we all through, we don't need to interview Sue Bach, we would just appoint her. But Julie, she's a teacher, which is fabulous, but that doesn't qualify as a environmental climate nonprofit for this purpose.
I think my question with that was with Julie, did we ever get anything from the school district for the school district
Yeah.
person? And could we We can either wait on that to happen, or we can maybe potentially consider Julie as the school district representative.
That's what I was.
I've reached out to the school district on 2 separate occasions and I have not received a response either time.
We don't
I,
have to take that action tonight, but, oh, David, yeah, okay.
And I don't think she's right now actively
read
working as a teacher. I thought for some reason she's not actively working as a teacher right now.
I- And the only other thing I want to bring up, I don't know how we kind of move forward on this one, but Luz Gomez as an at-large member applicant is now a representative for East Bay Mud. She's recently appointed to East Bay Mud. I don't know if that changes her eligibility to be a member of a city committee or not, but I wanted to bring that up to just ask the question.
I think we,
Martin.
can you guys, sorry. Help us out here.
I don't see these as incompatible positions. So I think she could do both if she has the bandwidth for it.
Yeah, I think the issue would be if the meetings are at the same time, which one are you going to?
Yeah, well, you better make. He's very much.
Yeah.
That's,
Turning ballots, I'll take them over to the clerk.
To the counter?
You need a name on it?
Yes.
Oh,
You're right,
yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
This vice mayor does everything.
Yeah, I'm almost qualified for some of it.
Could be the next clerk.
No, I'm not qualified for that. That's.
Sure you are.
Bless you.
Must be the environment, I don't. I guess the other thing we have to decide is, out of the groups, how many do we want to interview? Out of 5 students, how many do we want to interview?
I think we were suggesting last time 2 candidates per position.
Yeah.
So if, I think the largest one, we were saying that from the 4th, from the at-large, we can also select the 2 alternates
Yeah.
from there as well. So it'd be
Probably want to
6.
interview what?
6.
I was thinking of half plus 1 or round up. So with the 9, you would interview 5. With 4, you would interview 3. And with 5, you would interview 3.
At-large is we have to pick 2 alternates, so that would be 6.
You want to?
One at large and.
No,
one at
there's
large.
2, yeah, I think we have, let me look at the list again. Hold on.
Yeah, it's one
It's-
position
we
plus
have
2 alternates.
2 alternates and 1 at large. So it's 3 coming out of that at-large member group.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to interview 6?
6.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, and for energy,
2,
we interviewed 2.
yes.
And for students, we interviewed 3.
2. I thought
2.
it's 2.
Interviewed 2, okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, because it
And-
takes,
But I mean, why 6 on the at-large then?
because we're gonna pick 3.
Out of 6, like.
Councilmember Veros, did you ever verify if Julie Fu is still teaching or not?
No, but
Well-
even then we cannot decide. Looks like
She
Today, so-
indicated nothing on her resume indicated membership participation in a environmental climate nonprofit.
I see. Oh, no. We were talking about, Councilmember Armstrong had mentioned if we wanted to
I think we
substitute.
can defer that.
Okay,
let's, yeah.
We're not gonna be appointing anybody tonight. We're just gonna decide how many people we're going to interview.
so
We
we'll
won't
defer.
Interview her
consideration.
for that environmental climate nonprofit.
Okay,
Subak gets it by default.
yeah, that makes sense. Yes, that makes sense. I agree. So, okay, so we'll defer consideration of that at a later date.
For school district, we'll come back again,
Mhm.
Right.
maybe next meeting.
So we'll keep, we can probably keep it open similar to what we're doing with the building and construction.
Yep.
On a rolling basis. Okay.
Councilmember Rubio, for the at-large, you ranked two candidates the same.
Oops, sorry. Let me take a-
For the, for which one?
For at-large.
Oh. Hmm.
I can't even find it now. I brought it home.
Yeah, it's a number. I think it's group 5, series 5, Apple Watch.
Thank you.
I like it, but it's now 4 years old and its battery life is starting to. Yeah, see, I'm down to 38%. And I charged it at work partway through the day. So my wife bought me a little
I'm so
charger that I can take on trips and so I can charge it during the day. Oh, here we go. Here we go, everybody. Here we go. Here we go.
What is it, drum roll?
All right, big drum roll.
So for the youth, the highest scored was Aiden Park at 20. The second was Zoe Liu.
So
I'm apologize, I missed the conversation. How many are you interviewing from?
Two.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Sue Bach for the environmental climate action. And then it looks like we have a tie for the energy industry representative,
okay.
14. And then at large, the highest is Alex Hurd with the second Corinne Ferreira.
Great. And then
And we're doing
33,
6 on those.
Okay, so
Chris?
Chris,
And then
Farouk,
27 and 25.
Is Farouk.
and then. So that's 5, and then you have a tie for the second. You have Ryan and Kathleen.
Oh, we
Then
don't need
there's-
some. Oh,
Just give them
Oh, right.
the last 2.
Well, that's 5 at large.
Oh, then we need only 1 more out of the 2, so we have to break
well,
that
then
time.
we interview them both.
Okay,
Yeah.
If you get a tie for the last one, you interview
All
them
right.
both.
Kathleen.
Or we interview 5.
Only 5, yeah.
No, I mean, well,
Interview only 5.
I think it's just, I
5 or 7.
really like Kathleen though, but I think it's worthwhile. Who is he? Where's the other tie there?
21 would be Ryan Brown.
Ryan
yeah,
and
just
Kathleen
keep-
tied at 21 points.
Okay,
5 or 7.
just leave it at 7. It's 20 more minutes of our time, I promise. I'll make it
No,
up
it's
to you.
2 times 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Technically, we said 6 originally, so I'm asking for 20 minutes of your time.
You can have that.
And snacks on me.
Yes.
I'll
Remember
keep it
this
fr-
when you're sitting in a Senate hearing room and then you want 20 more minutes, right?
I will bring the snacks and make it worthwhile, I promise.
So we've decided on all those people, is that right?
We're done.
Mhm.
All you need is nodding your head.
Yes. Do you need our nodding heads?
Just nodding your.
Motion, right? Yeah.
Motion to
move-
approve?
Well, motion to.
Call for
direct staff to
interview,
Contact those and arrange.
call
Start
for
interviews.
interviews.
So I move to go ahead and proceed with calling the selected candidates for an interview.
Mm.
Done.
Okay.
Moving right along.
Thank you.
Okay, next item, please.
Item 9, new business, 9.1, Open Space Advisory Committee 2023 Annual Report. Introduction by Brad Morris, Parks and Community Services Division Manager.
Sorry, that's why Joan was looking at me to make sure I was ready to go. Good evening, Mayor, council members. Thank you very much for having me here this evening. It's a pleasure to have the ability to work with our Open Space Advisory Committee on all the stuff they do throughout the year. And tonight, we're very excited to be able to present to you our annual report. And I know it's been a long day, so without further ado, I would like to introduce Chair Peoples, who will be going over the annual report for you.
Good evening. I'm very privileged to serve on your Open Space Advisory Committee. Other committee members that are with us this evening, Sally Joel and Jaydeep Vayajeka are here also. We appreciate the opportunity to present the committee's 2023 annual report to you and to the community. The report summarizes committee activities and accomplishments last year and outlines what we hope to undertake in the coming year. There were no changes in the membership of the committee in 2023. Committee charges listed here directed to consider a wide range of issues related to open space in and contiguous to the city, and advise the city council and the city itself on these issues. We also respond to questions and issues posed by the council staff or other city entities, and also consider issues and concerns of potential significance to the community recognized by the committee. Our presentation tonight responds to the committee's last charge to submit an annual work plan or work program. Based on its charges, its ongoing activities and the evolving situation regarding open space in the city and its environs, the committee has adopted 3 programmatic goals to fulfill its mission, as well as to help organize and focus its efforts. Protection and preservation of open space in and contiguous to the city remains a core goal and priority. To understand community interest and concerns, open space promotion and contact with the community has been and remains another longstanding focus of the committee. The committee also understands it should encourage and facilitate stewardship and appropriate use of open space of interest to the city. 2023 was another active year for the committee with a number of accomplishments, but with some unfinished business. We received 10 presentations pertinent to our responsibilities from committee members, as well as city, county, and East Bay Parks staff. I think the variety of issues and topics listed here, the variety is evident from the list that you see here. We had a field meeting in Tassajara Valley in May. The focus of that meeting was primarily on East Bay Parks' plans to connect its Tassajara Creek Trail to the city's Tassajara Ridge Trail coming up along the edge of Camp Parks. I'd like to outline some of the committee's activities and accomplishments, beginning with those supporting our preservation and protection goal. Our efforts continue to identify and understand the value and importance of open space in the city. And we've had productive discussions about how to best share information about the nature of that open space and its extent. Those discussions consumed a great deal of committee time over the past year. The city, I think, is blessed with having a lot of open space, and but it's often taken for granted. That is until it's gone. Much of that open space is privately owned or otherwise not fully accessible to residents. People notice green space when it is threatened or lost and express concerns indicating its importance and value to them. The significance of open space and green space to people and society has been documented in extensive scientific research that continues. Last January, a year ago, January, we had a presentation regarding the inventory of open space in the city, which initiated our discussion and action on this issue. A central issue that we've been dealing with revolved around how to present information about open space and green space that does not encourage or facilitate unauthorized use of private property, other than viewing it from accessible locations. Displaying information on maps was explored, but that presented several issues also. This January, the committee settled on an approach involving summarizing the values of open space and green space and describing the benefits, its benefits to the city and community, and indicating the amounts of various types within the city. We also had a task to assess the full range of open space funding opportunities necessary for projected needs, but that was deferred so that staff could develop necessary information. The committee was quite interested in and endorsed and applauded the city's decision in response to the state's RENA mandate to allow the creation of more than 5,100 new housing units by 2031 within areas already developed rather than spreading out into open space. We began last year to engage with Contra Costa County planning staff to learn about their ongoing update of the county's general plan and also learn about the urban limit line, which is set to expire in 2026. Several activities last year also supported the goal of facilitating stewardship and use of open space. The committee was interested in assisting staff to develop the Trails Master Plan, but that effort was deferred pending development of an implementation plan for it.
Are some of these things on subsequent slides that you haven't advanced through? Okay, we're good. I just wondered if we were missing something.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. No, we're good. We're good.
I can't chew and
We're good. We're good.
rub my tummy at the same time either. The committee recommended the city support East Bay Park grant request to provide funding from BART to connect the Tassajara Creek Trail to the city's Tassajara Ridge Trail. And we also had our annual update from East Bay Parks about their efforts to protect and make accessible open space adjacent to the city. We undertook in 2023, we undertook
I think you need to go back one slide.
where am I?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, for 2024. For 2024, the committee is undertaking a number of, I think, fairly challenging tasks in support of our protection and preservation goal. We plan to submit the report mentioned previously about the benefits and extent of open space in the city. We want to broaden our focus on the financial aspects of open space protection, stewardship, and use to include the funding needs and sources of funding for our open space partners, in addition to looking at funding for city efforts. City and county planning staff presentations will provide a sense of trends and upcoming events and actions that might impact or influence open space of interest to the city, as well as opportunities to enhance its protection. Again, a particular concern is the pending expiration of the urban limit line and the plans for what's going to be done about that. A new initiative this year is to raise awareness of issues related to wildfire and open space and the risks to the city that causes. I think this is becoming a fairly significant concern, you know, as we're confronted with the consequences of wildfire, as we've seen in the last few years. One thing that if people haven't seen it yet, they're going to see increased costs and even the availability of homeowners insurance. And we need to explore what we can do to help deal with that. There are, I think, a number of other important dimensions of this issue, which will also warrant attention. Regarding stewardship and use goal, the committee will continue to respond to the staff and assist in developing the new Trails Master Plan. We'll continue working with and supporting our partners regarding open space. We've had a presentation already from Save Mount Diablo. We expect to have one from East Bay Parks, and we hope to re-engage with the Tri-Valley Conservancy also. In support of our outreach goal, we plan to provide an open space progress report to the city. You know, it will build on the committee's vision for protecting open space to the contiguous to the city, which was presented previously. We will be hosting only 4 hikes this year. We've already held the second Saturday special event featuring Susan Alcon talking about her experiences hiking. And we will have a booth at the Art and Winds Festival this May. Thank you for the opportunity to highlight the committee's goals, activities, and accomplishments last year, and I'd be pleased to answer any questions or take any comments from you.
Well, I just mostly have a comment. I just want to say first and foremost, thank you so much for all of the work your committee's been doing. I'm personally, and I'm sure we're all very grateful. The community, us, are incredibly grateful for all the work that you're doing, because clearly when we look around in San Ramon, it looks the way it looks is because of a lot of the work that you're doing. We really appreciate it. And I think some of these things that you really pointed out were, you know, in terms of talking about, especially the fire hazard risks, as we're expected, as you know, as temperatures continue to rise, and we know that we're expecting more extreme climate weather events. I agree. I think that is something you should absolutely have at the forefront of all of your considerations as priorities. And the ULL will definitely be inevitably something that eventually you'll have to face and discuss. You know, I was just kind of curious. You mentioned you received a presentation from the county on Envision Contra Costa 2040. Was there anything particular that really stood out to you as something that you think we should really sort of bear in mind?
There was nothing that really came out of that with the update of the general overview that we had of it. We did raise the issue of the pending exploration of the urban limit line, and had some discussion about the possibilities of perhaps shrinking that so that it would be conform more to the city's urban growth boundary in places.
I got to bring up a point of clarification. The urban limit line you're talking about is the county urban limit line.
Correct.
We chose the city voter approved urban limit line. We don't go by the county urban limit line. And what's important about it is if somebody were to make an application to LAFCO, we could lose our return to source money from CCTA. But I mean, our urban limit line doesn't change. Or
I
it
understand,
hasn't
I understand that, but it does affect the area, parts of the planning area that the city has, which the committee has identified as, and based on historic interest as being of interest to the city. So it has that interest there, you know, particularly with respect to Tasahara Valley.
Yeah, it is
you,
related to
Chris.
the county boundary line. Dave is right, so
It's
it-
the urban
yeah.
limit line is different that we're
that
not
is the
going to
county.
change to the county urban limit line if they vote it closer in, like you say. Ours is going to remain the same because it's from a vote of the people.
and I think
Yeah,
we
I-
can discuss about that.
I understand that. It's just there is a relationship there and it does affect some of the, particularly the contiguous open space that's has been identified as being important.
So I have a question, like a couple of questions quickly. So
Go ahead.
regarding how are we doing with our open space fund? Open space funding, like how are we?
The city has an open space fund, which is funded by developer fees.
Yeah,
And
Like, do we know?
I understand from the budget that since at least 2016, there's been $3.25 million put into that fund and they expect to spend all of it. Apparently all has been spent up to this point in time, and any money that's received this year will be also obligated. That's what I understand from looking at the budget.
okay. So it looks like Brad want to say something.
Specific number off the top of my head. Sorry about that.
No, no worries.
I know we have spent and then we'll look at those projects that would come online that would utilize those funds.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can get
And,
that to you though. I'd be more than happy.
Once you
to
send
do
it
that.
to the council.
Yeah, just email us.
Council the status.
That will be helpful.
Yeah.
But thanks, Bob, for all your great work and your open space advisory committee. What you do is fantastic that we already see, enjoy in San Ramon. Thanks for your collaboration work with our key stakeholders, especially East Bay Parks and Save Mount Diablo. It's great to see you in those events where we, wherever we go there into these stakeholder events, I see you all the time. So thank you very much for representing our open space and making sure our community voice is heard in these critical meetings. I really appreciate all your good work.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll thank you also, Bob. You know, I've been the liaison for a couple of years now to Open Space Committee, and I also want to thank Sally and JD for being here tonight. There's always some great discussions, lively discussions, and passionate discussion amongst the committee. And I think one of the most important things that the committee does, really, and you touched on it, was in that third goal that was the encouraging the outreach and the education about open space to the public. And you know, just the way the committee gets out there, leads those hikes, has the non-hiking events, and you know, Susan Alcorn, I think most recently supporting Art and Wind Festival, those kinds of things. I think that's really important to show the value of our open space to the residents of San Ramon. So I think for all of us up here, protecting our open space is a priority. You mentioned the whole city core area and kind of that focus of building that area out. And that will go a long way to help protect our open space, you know, by focusing there. So, but thanks for all that the committee does, and look forward to more great things in the rest of 2024.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to speak?
I just wanted to respond to one of the points that Councilmember Rubio raised, and that's the work that we're doing on this. And I think we understand on the committee that we're standing on the shoulders of a lot of people that have done an awful lot of work on this, literally since before the founding of the city. Where we are today is because of 40+ years of effort. And, we're hoping to try to continue to build on that. And we see, that open space, both contiguous to the city and within the city, as being very important to the quality of life here. And it's important to all of us, I think, throughout the community.
Scott, you want to say something?
Thank you very much for
Thank
all
you.
your work. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, thank you.
Public comment on,
Go ahead.
no, did we get public comment on that
Oh, well,
topic?
okay, we'll open the public comment. Do we have any cards?
I do not have any cards or written comments.
Close the public comment. See, you were so good. Nobody wanted to speak. Next item, please.
Item 10, city manager and city council members' comments and matters initiated.
Oh, I wouldn't expect much tonight. Just a couple quick updates. We've been here quite a long period so far with the workshop, so I won't put you through too much. Just two items. One, we have the community town hall on the city's financial outlook and funding needs this Thursday, April 25th at 6:30 p.m. in the San Ramon Community Center Fountain Room. I'll be giving a short presentation on the city's financial outlook, followed by an open mic time for residents input and questions, and we also have the department heads there to answer any questions. And then this Friday, April 26th, from 8:30 to 10 a.m. is the Chamber Business Community Roundtable. We will have Carrie Parker, our San Ramon Solid Waste and Environmental Services Program Manager, will share the presentation on Trash Free San Ramon Initiative. This event is free and takes place at the PG&E Training Center at the San Ramon Valley Conference Center, and that's at 3301 Crow Canyon Road. For more information and registration, visit sanramon.org. And I highly suggest that people track those business roundtables, and there are some great speakers, great opportunity to ask questions. And they're held once a month, I believe, give or take, maybe a few months here and there that aren't held, but go to sanramon.org for more information. And with that,
It's a great opportunity to talk trash.
yes, you could talk all the trash you like on Friday. That would be a good.
Find out what that
Opportunity.
dome's used for.
Yep.
Okay. Sridhar, you want to start us off down there?
Sure, thanks, Mayor Hudson. So no committee meetings, I didn't have any then, but then I have some community events. So on Saturday, April 20th, I attended our San Ramon community students and youth from Dottie Valley as well as from Cal Heights organized Relay for Life fundraiser. It is to support our American Cancer Society. It is a fundraiser event where students work with the community and bring the awareness as well as raise the funds for our cancer research to support American Cancer Society. So thanks to all the students for it's amazing to see their leadership as well as volunteerism to support our American Cancer Society. That's one event. And then Sunday, April 21st, I attended our Tri-Valley Kannada Sangha Ugadi celebrations. This is our San Ramon residents. They got together and celebrated this regional event or regional festival event. Good to see or glad to see Council Member Rubio as well as Chief Carlson at the event. I hope you enjoyed the festivities and also the food. And then the third one is our San Ramon Parks and Community Services Department organized Teesra by Dr. Zakir Hussain, a Grammy Award winner, tabla. It was amazing. All was packed totally. It is one of the great experience. So thanks for organizing that event. So those are the three events. Thank you.
Okay. Marisol's been writing like crazy. Go ahead, Scott.
All right. I just wanted to bring people's attention. There was an interesting article in the Washington Post on solar power in some areas of the country, and California is one of those, where solar power now is so ubiquitous that from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., particularly in spring, there is too much power on the grid, and they have to shunt it off, and it's essentially worthless. In fact, there's a negative cost associated with power on the spot market from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the springtime, particularly. This is becoming an interesting problem to deal with. MCE is dealing with this by buying storage facilities to pull the power off the grid from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. At a cost of $0. You can pull the power off the grid, and then from 8 o'clock to 10 p.m. at night, you can put it back on the grid at a very high premium. So you can arbitrage the power. That's come up in our MCE. I'm on the technical committee for that group. I was on the Tri-Valley Transportation Council board meeting in Dublin. We approved the next year's budget. CCTA, Contra Costa Transportation Authority. We got a legislative update. There's a lot happening, of course, in our state legislature. And this is the time of year where all the bills are being heard in committees. Let's see, we approved a settlement claim. The claim was for $18 million. We settled for $9,700,000. This is related to I-680 State Route 24 construction. We received a update on the potential for ferry service. This is waterborne ferries from Hercules to San Francisco, Hercules, Martinez, Pittsburgh, and Antioch. There is potential in Hercules and Martinez, it looks like, not so much in Pittsburgh and Antioch. And EBRICS, the East Bay Regional Communication System Authority. Chief, got some bad news. And city manager, they're raising the subscription price of our radios by $1 per month per radio. So if you didn't have that in your budget, how many radios do we have on the system? 70, 80? Well, 100? 47. Okay, 147 times 12 times 1 is your budget increase over what you're currently paying for your radios. Okay?
You've been
Aren't
writing
you
like
glad?
crazy down there, Maris. Let's
Want me to-
redo the budget.
Redo the budget. Yeah. It's 147 times 1 times 12. So just times 12. And that's your budget increase for radios. We also got to see and talk to our new director, or excuse me, our new executive director, who is David Swing, the former police chief for the city of Pleasanton, is our new director. Redwood Law is our new council. And we approved some increase in contracts to a company, CSI, who does engineering services, Motorola maintenance agreement. And Wiedemann Hill antenna system is almost online. I think they had to do some punch list and some checkouts. That helps a lot with radios, particularly if you have to go out Bollinger towards Las Trampas. And if you have to go around Faria, that was kind of a hole in the system. Had you guys noticed that? That system is days away from being online. So I expect by the end of the month, that system will be online for you. Big improvement in radio communications in that area. Being paid for by the developer because we were prudent in putting it in their conditions of approval. That's my report.
Okay, thank you, Marisol and then Mark.
Okay, I'll go first if you'd like. On April 16th, I attended the teen council where we went updated and approved. They updated and approved their teen council annual report They, including terms of use, like in their social media, they currently have is an Instagram account, but are looking to consider expanding that, their social media outreach. There's also talk about restorative justice and wellness. I think they were talking about Doherty Valley Wellness Center, just trying to figure out, how they can continue to refine and improve that program. And also, there was additional goals added to outreach to typically marginalized communities, socioeconomic, for example, young people from socioeconomically disadvantaged backgrounds, Black, Latino, disabled students, through their ambassador program or their GSA program. They also mentioned about, in terms of to expand their outreaches, putting announcements possibly in the recreation program guide. And then, let's see, on the 17th, I attended the San Ramon Police Department oath of office ceremony. And we had a great selection of people that were brought in that day. Thank you, Chief Denton, for that. And then on the 18th, I attended the Girl Scouts of Northern California award ceremony. And later that evening, actually, I forgot, on the 17th, go back, on the 17th, I attended the Arts Advisory Committee, where we received a presentation by our city manager on the budget overview. And then also, they appointed a new chair, Nainia Shastri, and a vice chair, Ranjini Venkatachari. Is that close?
Easy for you to say.
And then, of course, we went over all of the community services, we incorporating some of the things that we might have to, considering where the budget might make, squeeze things a little bit, but nothing terrible, it didn't seem like. But we also talked about opened the discussion to considering a new or like programs that we could offer possibly. And so there are a lot of great ideas went out there, nothing on paper yet, so I'd rather hold off on that until we get something on paper. And let's see. Oh, there was sheep shearing was there too this weekend. Okay, sorry. There's been so much. Okay, and then on the 20th, I attended the Relay for Life, which was basically an American Cancer Society, an event where some of the high school students over at the Doherty Valley High School spent 24 hours out in the field doing some fundraising. They were selling beverages, food, and all sorts of things to try to raise funds for cancer research. And that is, I really try to stress to them how important the work they're doing is in our community when, 1 in 2 women are going to have experienced cancer at some point in their life, and 1 in 3 men. It is no longer a possibility. Either you or somebody you love and care about very deeply will be impacted by cancer. So extremely important cause. And I really wanted to stress how important their work was that day. And then, as mentioned by Councilmember Veros, I attended the Ugadi event on April 21st, Sunday, which was celebrating the start of the harvest season. And that was amazing food, just wonderful community, just coming together in a celebration really of life and everything we look forward to in the springtime. And briefly got to meet up very quickly with Narika out in Fremont. They're a local organization that works a lot here in San Ramon as well to help victims of domestic violence. Their guest was a poet laureate from San Ramon originally, and I would love to try to consider trying to bring her here so we could get a reading in San Ramon sometime soon. And I don't have her name handy, so I will make sure to provide that to our staff. Thank you, everyone.
Member Armstrong?
Okay, on the 15th, I attended the Open Space Advisory Committee meeting. And any questions, ask Bob after the meeting. But and they talked about representation at the Art and Wind Festival and how they're going to handle that, as well as got a great presentation by Seth Adams from Save Mount Diablo on a lot of the things that Save Mount Diablo has been doing, kind of back from their original history all the way through kind of their new vision to preserve more of the Diablo range. And then on the 16th, I attended a meeting over at the police station it was about the South County Family Justice Center. A lot of the stakeholders were there. It was an informational briefing. Supervisor Anderson was there, of course, Chief of Police, the Mayor of Danville. Shyla from Narika was there as well, and many other stakeholders. And it was information sharing, but it was also some breakouts into small groups for some discussion on unmet needs and other opportunities for that, the future of a South County Family Justice Center. Then on the 16th, I also attended over the lunch hour a financial outlook briefing by our very own city manager over at the senior center. And some great questions and answers by our seniors and city manager. In terms of community events, on the 11th of April, I attended a cultural diversity event at Pine Valley Middle School. Councilmember Verosa was there as well. This is sponsored by their PTA. Some great food and different tables were set up and cultural displays and displays of traditions and clothing, et cetera. And then on the 11th was a ribbon cutting for the Gurkha Kitchen over at Diablo Plaza. Mayor Hudson and Councilmember Rubio were there as well. Thanks again to Chamber of Commerce for setting all that up. This is a new restaurant that features Nepalese and Indian cooking. And then lastly, on the 13th of April, I attended sheep shearing. It was a rainy day, but the staff did a great job of kind of making some adjustments to make it all happen. The Santa Ramon Historic Foundation was instrumental in putting this event on as well, and everybody did a great job. And there's, the usual things, different crafts and tractor rides, as we heard about tonight, gardening, and beekeeping displays, wool spinning, some entertainment, all sorts of fun things over at sheep shearing.
Soggy sheep.
And soggy, wet sheep, but they did make some great adjustments to keep them dry overnight and then move the bleachers around to where they're doing the sheep shearing in a barn. So, but everybody could look in and watch it as it happened, but it was a fun day. Grandkids loved it. So, and that's it.
Scott?
No,
Oh, you're done. Oh, good. We're almost done. Earth Day was a big success at the farm last weekend. Got to see Don's tractors at work. And I agree that the swearing in of the new officer is one of the highlights of the year. I still think that it's great to see the spouse come up and pin the badge on the officer, but we got to have the officer pin the badge or a smaller badge back on the little kids when they come up there. It's something to look forward to. I know our previous mayor said he looks forward to coming in the future if you put him on the mailing list to go to this event. It's very special. I mean, we need to do it at the same time every year so we know what to look forward to. Outside of that's my report. Next item.
Item 11, closed session. 11.1, convene a closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957.6 for the city council to meet with city negotiators concerning labor negotiations with the Santa Ramon Police Officers Association and unrepresented employees.
Okay, public comment is open if anybody wants to speak to. Do we have any cards?
I do not have any cards for this
Okay, we'll
item.
close the public comment. Okay, we are back from closed session. And I don't have anything to read out.
Right here.
Oh, there it is. He's on top of it. I'm not. Council met in closed session to discuss the 2024 Police Officers Association labor negotiations with our negotiating team. And there's nothing to report at this time.